All right, what's up, my brothers? So in this video, I want to talk about the word abusive, I'm doing it in the quotations, and how it's used by women. You know, I think in the past, most guys would just learn to accept that if a woman says that a guy was abusive, then there was something wrong with that guy. I'm sure we've all heard it when we're out dating or we start getting involved with a woman. You say, hey, what happened with so-and-so in your past? Or why didn't that, engagement turn into a marriage, for example? And then you generally start hearing things like, well, it was because he was abusive or there was some abuse in the relationship or something like that. Now, I pulled this in a way on Twitter because I've noticed in a lot of the consults that I've done, abuse isn't exactly abuse. What it usually translates to, I've found, is that abuse equals he set boundaries that I didn't like. And then it's used as abuse or controlling. So I'm just going to read a couple of the responses here that I got on the Twitters. Ray said, often when she started to cheat on me and I began to question her whereabouts, expressing my concerns about how her going out and disappearing, I was immediately labeled as an abuser and controlling. Controlling equals, so abuse and controlling is obviously tied in. Setting firm boundaries regarding her behavior, as in, if you want to run around bars all the time, that's fine, but I'm done dating women that do that. So that equals controlling in her estimation. And then there was a woman here, Gia said, it's a woman's get out of jail card. They use that excuse to play the victim, but they fail to say they nagged the shit out of him for days and pushed him around, even barricading him from walking out. They leave all of those details out. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variations of this notion that abuse is abuse. I'm sure there are instances where it is considered abuse, but, it's like the sheep that cried wolf, right? They often use terminology and language and wording more or less if they don't like a boundary that's set. Hey, can we stop getting tattoos here? Can we put the brakes on that? Or I can't take a woman serious that, likes to run around and go out to nightclubs and bars all the time. We used to call these women bar stars that used to run around to the bars all the time. So is the notion of abusive always abuse? I'm sure in some cases it is, but it does seem in this circumstance, and given the number of conversations that I've had now, and I also see this appearing from time to time on my Ladies Night podcast, which if you're not subscribed, I'll put a card up in the top right. Make sure you subscribe to that channel because the Unplugged Alpha has some really, really good content coming out as well. But you got to take it with a grain of salt. So, I mean, if you hear a woman say, well, he was abusive, then I would be curious. Like if you're dating out there and you're vetting a chick, maybe you're, dating a bunch of women simultaneously and you're looking for an LTR or mother stock and you're asking them questions, about things like their past, and they say, so-and-so was abusive. The reason why we didn't get married was because he was abusive, blah, blah, blah. Then just get really curious with it. Ask them, well, what was the abuse exactly? And then probe and ask, further clarifying questions. Well, he was just abusive and controlling. Well, what did he do that was abusive and controlling? I'm trying to understand what happened here, right? You will find that they will start talking. Women like to sing like a canary if you ask them questions. I've learned anyway. So start asking questions, be genuinely curious. And as they always say, if it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it waddles like a duck sort of thing, it's probably a duck. So, this is like one of the useful tools that you as guys can use in your toolbox when you're, out and about dating, or, again, if you're looking for a long-term relationship or even a woman to have children with, because you don't want to do it with a woman that's going to use those, manipulative type of behaviors when they're used as a manipulative type of behavior. I'm not saying it always is, but when they're used as a manipulative type of behavior, potentially on you in the future, because her past behaviors and choices is going to be a predictor of her future behaviors and choices with you. So if you start saying things like, I'm really not into gals that like to go to Vegas for, weekends with their girlfriends for birthday parties and stuff like that, I just can't take you seriously, she's probably going to call you abusive and controlling as well. So get your head around that and think when you're asking these questions, when you're having these conversations. Guys, you let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you ever been called abusive or controlling or something in that regard? Was it used, I mean, it's usually used out of context. So you let me know what you think of this video and my take on it below. Abusive, controlling, I don't know. You let me know what you think. Thumbs up the video. Pin the top comment below. There's a bunch of useful links of some stuff that you definitely want to check out, including a link to my second edition of the Unplugged Alpha book. It's been revised and updated. It's a wicked piece now, so go check that out. Make sure you leave a review on Amazon. See you guys later. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want to play tough and want to hate this, I'll always show up.